In the tumultuous backdrop of World War II, the case of Korematsu versus United States emerged as a defining moment in American legal history. Fred Korematsu, an ordinary American citizen of Japanese descent, found himself at the center of a national controversy. The case revolved around the constitutionality of the mass internment of Japanese Americans by the U.S. government and the extent to which national security interests could infringe upon individual liberties. With the Supreme Court as the ultimate arbiter, the Korematsu case would test the bounds of civil rights and shape the course of legal precedent for years to come. The roots of Korematsu versus United States can be traced back to the events following the attack on Pearl Harbor on December 7, 1941. In the wake of the attack, fueled by fear and prejudice, President Franklin D. Roosevelt issued Executive Order 9066. This order authorized the forced removal and internment of over 120,000 Japanese Americans living on the West Coast, regardless of their citizenship status. The government justified this action as a necessary precaution to prevent potential espionage and sabotage. Fred Korematsu, an American-born citizen of Japanese ancestry, refused to comply with the evacuation order. Instead, he went into hiding in Oakland, California, hoping to avoid being forcibly relocated to an internment camp. He was eventually arrested and convicted for violating the military orders that mandated the relocation and internment of Japanese Americans. Korematsu's case, which challenged the constitutionality of the internment order, made its way through the legal system. At each stage, including the U.S. District Court and the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals, Korematsu's conviction was upheld. However, he refused to give up and took his case to the Supreme Court of the United States. In a landmark decision handed down on December 18, 1944, the Supreme Court ruled in a 6-3 decision against Korematsu. The majority opinion, written by Justice Hugo Black, stated that the need to protect against espionage outweighed Korematsu's individual rights. The court upheld the constitutionality of the internment order, arguing that it was justified as a military necessity during wartime. Despite the ruling, Korematsu's case did not fade into obscurity. Over the years, it came to be recognized as a grave injustice and a stain on America's commitment to civil liberties. The internment of Japanese Americans was widely condemned as an act of racial discrimination and a violation of due process and equal protection under the law. It prompted a wave of reflection and reevaluation of the treatment of minority groups in the United States. Decades later, in 1983, a pro bono legal team led by attorney Peter Irons reopened Korematsu's case. They presented evidence that the government during the original trial had withheld critical information that would have undermined the military necessity claim. In 1984, U.S. District Court Judge Marilyn Hall Patel formally vacated Korematsu's conviction, stating that the government's actions had been based on racial prejudice rather than legitimate national security concerns. The significance of Korematsu versus United States goes beyond the individual case. It serves as a reminder of the fragility of civil liberties in times of crisis and the duty of the judiciary to rigorously review government actions. The case has influenced subsequent Supreme Court decisions, such as the 2018 ruling in Trump v. Hawaii, where the court upheld the travel ban on several predominantly Muslim countries. In conclusion, Korematsu versus United States epitomizes the clash between national security concerns and the protection of individual rights during times of crisis. By revisiting this landmark case, we are reminded of the importance of vigilance in safeguarding our constitutional principles and the ongoing struggle to strike a balance between security and liberty. It stands as a landmark in American legal history, a testament to the power of individuals to challenge injustice and fight for the values upon which this nation was founded.